Hi, welcome back to my garage. This is a bit of a sort of Guy Ritchie edit. This is the end of the video. This is where we get to finally in about 45 minutes of rambling. We'll have the hubs on, we'll have the radius arms on, we'll have shocks on, we'll have greasing of bearings. We'll ramble on a bit and waste a bit of time on YouTube. But basically, this is where this video ends. So let's go over to the bench and get started. Driver's side? Which side am I doing? I don't know. That goes there. That's the bottom, that's the front. So that's the driver's side. Okay. Driver's side, rear hub. I cleaned all these off, kind of gave them a bit of a polish, and then wasn't happy enough with the finish. So primed and painted them, this sort of aluminium colour. New bearing in one of these things. These are just a little sort of taper bearing in a little cone bearing, taper bearing. I don't know. Anyway, checky bearings is the point there. If I'm going to be giving out instructions, I did actually set out with this channel to kind of be instructional. Is that even a word? Instructional? I don't know. But I ramble way too much for that. So this has just sort of become a kind of watch me ramble as I fix my car kind of thing. If you like watching that, then that's great. Thanks for subscribing. I think I've got about 40 subscribers now. So 40 people must enjoy listening to me ramble whilst not knowing what I'm doing. Anyway, the dust plate, powder coated, lovely, like new, probably better than new. And then this was painted as well. This is the handbrake fitment, and on the back as well, saved on them. I think you can still buy these, but anyway, man, we're in decent condition. So the first job with this is I'm going to put that on there. It's also the last job. You can't take this off without taking the whole wheel bearing apart, which is annoying because this was rusting and I wanted to save it before it ended up with the same fate as the front dust guards, which are just gone. Fortunately, you don't need the front dust guards, but you do need the rear ones. It's not a choice thing. It holds the handbrake and it holds the these things. What are these called? It's not pads. Shoes. Don't know why they're called shoes, but they are. Anyway, let's get some parts out. I chucked it all in one bag when I was tidying up. I've done the other side, so we're gonna need that. And those. I should have probably got these out before I did the video. Anyway, let's get the bits I need right now. So that is these. I do have my tools ready. So two long M something. These are metric. I'm going to say M10. I don't really care. They're M something, and then two short ones. Obviously, the short ones go here and here, and the long ones go here and here because they have further to reach. I'm going to put a bit of grease on them because I feel like it. So that's way too much grease. No, I don't want that much grease. Right, long one in there. That's not lined up at all. There we go. There's probably some specific torque for these, but frankly, that's just not happening. I'm not looking through the big green book of nonsense today. It wouldn't help you here anyway because they didn't bother to write it up, the rear handbrake, on the later cars. So you're kind of on your own anyway. Fortunately, it's a pretty standard, modern rear handbrake shoe caliper kind of setup. Lots of springs, that's good fun later. Right, so they're on. Now, bits. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. Where's its little? I'm gonna need that. We're gonna need all of that. Why don't I just do that? That would be a lot simpler. Just, are you in the bag or out the bag? Where at? There you are. It's like changing a duvet cover and you end up in the middle of it. Need that. This tiny little pin. We'll need that in a bit. In fact, actually, yes, I'm going to feed the handbrake cable through first, because actually no, I'm going to put the shoes on and then feed the handbrake cable through first before I try lining all that up, because it's just easier. I found when I did a test run of this earlier. That way. That and a spring, which I've managed to start cuddling for some reason. So, can I show you that on the camera? Let's do some zoomage. There we go. That thing, I got new ones of these. I did actually clean up the old ones, but the new ones are inexpensive and they're just nice and shiny. And as we've established, I like shiny things. So that goes through your shoe, and then it's got that line on it. Needs to be horizontal as you put it in, and then vertical to lock. That's completely wrong. Other way around. Vertical as you go in, horizontal to lock. Other side, same again. Horizontal-ish. Get in there. There we go. I may have forgot to mention there, you want that shape, lift it up, that shape up the top, and those bits at the bottom. I mean, you can do it the other way around if you like, but it's going to be wrong. Everything's going to go wrong. So yeah, I'm going to feed the handbrake through now. It's how I did the other one, and it seemed to work. I'm sure there's various ways of doing this. Just turn it over. So the handbrake comes in through this hole here, whoops, at the back. See there? And if you tip it up like this, wrong way. Where the fuck's the thing? Ah, there. Yes, if you tip it up, and if you tip it up this way, you'll be able to see it comes through from the back into the front, into all the shoe assembly. And in between there, to lock it in place, goes part number CCC 55644. Catchy name. Again, I didn't actually need to buy new ones of these, but mine were looking pretty brittle, and these are cheap bits. Wherever I can, I just try and replace these sort of disposable bits while you can still get them. I don't know. Maybe they'll run out one day. So that goes through that. Start that again. So that goes through that, right the way through. And then you need to look under here. I'll try and lift it up so you can see just as it pushes in. You see there? So that bit's just lining up, and push it in tight. And then that clip, wherever I've put it, here it is. That goes, I don't think it matters which way around it goes, but on the other one I did it so that I could easily get the tab next time. I had the tab facing this way, just gives me the most purchase. That goes, let's just zoom in and see if I can see what I'm on about. Yeah, you see the up stand there, the sort of lip on the each end, that correlates with that slot. So we just push that in with a pair of pliers, which I have handy. Lovely. Not sure if I got that on camera, but oop, the finished thing should look like that. And that's what it looks like. By the way, if you're dismantling your handbrake, and like me, it's on the car, and you've disconnected everything, and you're pulling like mad. Let's zoom out again. And you're pulling like mad on the handbrake cable at the back, going, why won't you come out? What is going on? That's why. You just need to pull that little plastic clip out, and then the handbrake will just slide out. That took me about an hour to figure that out, and with a bit of help from the internet. Of course, now you've got the handbrake fitted. I'll take you off your plank for a sec. You're now going to need to either create some sort of housing or whatever you want to call it, so that you can work on this and put pressure on this without this. I don't know. Maybe you want to drill a hole in your bench. There's many options. I went for an assortment of wood kind of thing. Let's put you back up there. Yes, that's good. That's a good vantage point. Right, so we've got our shoes roughly in place. Now we can fit this. This is what pulls your handbrake. So as you're pulling on the, let's zoom in again. As you're pulling on the cable, it's doing that, and instead of me moving that, obviously that can't go anywhere. So this splays out and just pushes your shoes out. Very simple, but very effective. So that goes over your handbrake end, cable end. There we go. Right, now that's in there, I'll leave that. I want to get the top spring on and this adjuster mechanism first, and then when everything's held in place with the top spring, it's a lot easier to slot your handbrake cable in, I found last time. So make sure this is adjusted all the way in. Just fit that in with the spring over towards your right. Don't do that. Not the spring, sorry, the adjuster. I just said spring there, and I didn't mean spring. There we go. All right, once you've got all that roughly set up, leave that flapping about for now. You want your two springs. Short one. You gonna focus? Focus. No. Let's zoom in then. It'll focus on it. There we go. Short one goes at the top, and this longer, elongated one goes at the bottom. Don't break the bottom one, by the way. They're 40 quid to replace. These top ones are about 3 quid. Not quite sure what's going on with Jaguar's pricing there, but whatever. So hook that in from the right hand side. Get your vice grips and try and give yourself enough hookage to get it in one go. If not, you're going to have to get your little pliers just to finish the job off, which is probably what's going to happen here. Yeah, I don't have a pair of vice grips quite small enough to get in there. Hopefully this isn't going to fly off like it did in the last take that I didn't show. That all looked very smooth. Last time it just went twang and disappeared off across the garage. That was fun. Where's my other spring gone? Yeah, so now that's all held in there and there and there. There's enough pressure on all this to get this little mechanism held in. Let's just take a bit of the... No, I can't. You can just squeeze the pads together, so that will just hold itself. I mean, you know, the slightest knock and it'll all go pwang, because there's obviously a little bit of pressure on this spring of the actual cable itself. But we'll hook out, actually we'll go left to right again. And hopefully this one should be a bit easier to hook over, because I've got plenty of extra. Make sure I've got a good grip on that. Because when I did it this morning, I didn't, and I slipped. It's a bit further to reach with this one. So there we go. Right. Whew, hey, stop escaping. So now that we've put all that together, if you were to pull on the handbrake cable, if I just zoom in, just so you can see how it works, that's the end of the handbrake cable. And when that's pulled, you can see it expands outward sideways and the shoes both move. If you pull the cable, it does it both sides. Because I'm pressing it with my finger, it's just doing the left-hand side, but the shoes just expand out, and obviously the springs pull them back in. Once we got it on the car, you can't see it there in the shop, we'll have to wind up the adjuster so that we get the right on and off handbrake-ness. Let's just zoom out again. So next job is to get these bearings in. Where's my grease? So let's pack this bearing. So if anyone wants a little lesson in how to pack bearings, I've only learnt in the last month. Golf ball size blob of grease, nice clean bearing, hold it in your hand and just gently eat away at the palm of your hand with a little bit of pressure. Smudge that out a bit and you'll see the grease starting to come through the top, and then just move round about another centimetre and just work your way around until you've done the whole bearing. Very simple. The packers do the same thing really, but they just do it in one motion. You're just compressing the top and the bottom of the bearing, so then the grease hasn't got anywhere else to go other than up through the bearing. And again, you'll see it squirt out the top like reminds me of those kids' Play-Doh machines that I totally didn't play with last year, making spaghetti. Right, so once that's all packed, get loads of grease and just make a big mess. Hang it on your thumb. That frees up your hands to get the excess grease, which we want anyway. Hey, why won't that go on my... Have I got 5 fingers? Yes, I do. Right, so, yeah, just to fast forward a bit. It's actually another day as well. Everything's greased and ready because I took it all apart and left it greased. So over here we have all the bits that are going to go onto here and into there. So we'll get to that in a minute, but balance that back there. First thing we want is the outer oil seal. So that's the smaller of the 2 oil seals. Let's just set that back there. Let me put like that. So I'm going to put a bit of grease on that shaft as well. Do. This is where the oil seal runs as well, so we'll just get a bit of grease around there. Lovely. Right. Smaller of the 2 oil seals. Just make sure I've got that. Yeah. Obviously, because I've had these on and off, it's just a good idea to check you haven't unseated the spring ring, whatever it's called. I'm just going to pack that full of grease as well. I don't think you can have too much grease. I think you can actually, if you're really stupid and it's under serious compression, causes unnecessary drag. Anyway, we now need the larger of the 2 bearings, which is your outer bearing, which obviously goes on this way. Get that sat in and greased. That's nice. Now I'm about to be interrupted by the girlfriend again. Hello, girlfriend.
Hello.
What do you want?
Nothing.
Do you want to be on YouTube?
No.
Do you want some grease?
No.
Hey?
What are you doing?
I'm putting my bearing together. Why, what are you doing?
I'm just collecting our harvest from garden.
Oh, nice. I'll come out in a minute.
It's quite a lot.
Okay. Right, once your bearing is on, we now want to bring this in to our carrier. Just seat it down. Oop, a bit zoomed in for this, so that the oil, just get the oil seal just starting to press in. Sorry, couldn't do that and film at the same time, just so it's sat level. Then going to want a block of wood on here and a hammer. Then turn the whole assembly upside down, and we want our spacer with the big end facing down. That seats on top of your front bearing. Then your adjustable or adjusted spacer. Then your inner bearing. I'm just going to stick a bit of grease down in that void there while I can. I'll just get it all over the place. That's the inner bearing. And then the outer dust seal needs to sit on there. And then we need our ABS rotor. So get that just pushed in but level. Just going to get my gloves off now. Your ABS ring. Actually clean these up, they were pretty rusty, so I've just taken all the rust off, treated it, and then brought them back to bare metal, and then a layer of lacquer just to stop it oxidizing again. I'm going to seat that in on top of the oil seal, and then we're going to drift that lot. Put a bit of plastic over it just to stop any little bits of wood going anywhere, because I don't want that. In fact, there's a bit falling off this. It's been bashed with a hammer quite a few times. Feel. Oops. Just reach round each of these corners and you can feel whether it's flush. Yeah, that's all the way in. You can hear the noise change. You couldn't really hear it on the video there, but as you're tapping them in, it makes a sort of more metallic sound once it's seated. Obviously, once we tighten all this up on the car anyway, that's going to pull everything tight anyway. All right, excuse the bungee cords, but I didn't want everything flopping around. Wrong way. Zoom out. Oh, don't be getting tufts everywhere. That one's on its way out, isn't it? Anyway, I've set this side up. I've not torqued everything up, but I will do that once it's sat properly on the car. The bits that need torquing up and the bits that need torquing up before, I will do before. But I've done this side now, and I'm going to show you how I did all this on the other side, just so that point out a few things like where that nice shiny spacer goes, which way up your forks, talk about bikes there, which way up your shocks go. We'll talk about the radius arm a little bit, the special shaped bolt that goes in there, and how to remove and reattach your radius arms with or without doing your full subframe. There's a way. There's always a way. What else have we got this side? Oh yeah, we'll talk about this brace and which way around that goes, because that threw me a little bit, and where the washers go. There's actually a little spacer washer in there that I forgot about. So yeah, we've done the handbrake, we've done the dust shield, we've now done the wheel bearing. I can't turn it because it's all roped up, but that's all set up ready with the ABS rotor in behind. all ready for the drive shaft to come through and be tightened up once we get them back from the powder coaters. So that is pretty much, oh, the handbrake as well. We'll talk about routing that, making sure that your plastic protector bit is there, how it comes through here with this little, what are these things called? Retainer clippy thing. I haven't got the arms on at the minute because to get that bit in, the bit that holds the main handbrake in, I had to take some of the powder coating off. So I had some bare metal exposed, and as explained before, if I ever have bare metal exposed, I just give it a quick coating of PU lacquer. Seems to do the job. It puts a very thin layer of protection across stuff and just stops it oxidizing. Works for me. I'm sure there's other ways. Some people like to cover everything in oil and grease, but I don't. I like everything to be shiny. So yeah, let's do this there with these bits. I've got a lot less bits now to put on the car, so I must be making some progress. Not gonna lie, I have no idea when I edit this video together what order things are going to be in. Right now I'm fitting the rear shocks. I've kind of just been randomly building. Well, I've built the other side, and so I knew what I was doing, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I made some mistakes and had to take it apart, and you know how it goes. Ooh. And now I'm doing the other side, and in between figuring stuff out, I'm filming little bits, and my phone is now full of about 8 million bits of video of me putting this together for your enjoyment, I might add. So when I come to edit it, I'll be honest, get off. I have no idea what order it's all going to be in, or whether I can even make sense of it. Anyway, where am I at? You might notice it's tied at the minute. That's because I've got a lot of weight on one side. Oh, I do need the extension. Yeah, if you build up one side on a ramp like this, the whole thing kind of wants to escape. Whoops. So just until I've got some weight on this side, I'm just tying it to stop it going by. What am I doing now? Other shock at the top. Fairly straightforward. Just a nut and a bolt. And obviously there's that inner, can you see that? Is that on the video? No, it's not. Yeah, this inner needs to be in. Washer and a nut. It's on there. Helps if you have the right end of the spanner in, doesn't it? Yep. Ah, it's much better. I don't even need the extension on here. I don't know why I'm doing that to myself. Get off. You're not helping. There we go. Just nip them up. We'll torque them up properly later. Right, time to fit these. Well, this radius arm. You want to do this before attaching the shocks. I'll explain why in a sec. Let's just get that in there. Oh, I just want to put a bit of grease on that. So the reason being that, I don't know if I can get this on the video, but this bolt is specially designed with a cutout at the side there to slide past and out past this lower shock mount on the lower wishbone. And once the shocks are in place, you'll never get this in or out if you're doing this job. So you can see there how it slid past. Obviously you need to make sure you've got your tab washer, and there's another little special washer. I don't think it's anything particularly special about it. And this is, what size is this? It's whatever that is, 3/4 size. So I'll just get it started. It's threaded into the end of the lower wishbone. And again, I'm just going to nip these up for now. Once the car's resting on its weight, I shall come back round. I've written a long list of things to tighten up. It's slightly screwed over by my bungee cord here. Let's just put that there. There we go, that might help. So it can just flop about for now. I've tied the other one up on the other side with a bit of string. Whoops. For now. Like I said, once it's all in place and everything's weighted, I shall torque everything up. Right, so now that's done, we can now fit the lower shocks on. So that one there goes on normally, and then this one's got a bit of a spacer and stuff that we need to do. Well, hopefully that's in shot, otherwise I'm going to have to film this all again. Let's get a bit of grease on there. Where's the grease gone? The grease is behind me. Just lube that up a bit. Wipe the excess on your trousers. That's what they're for. Let's just get a bit in there and a bit in there as well, just so I know it's all going to slide through lovely. Maybe get a bit in there as well. There we go. Right. So obviously that just pushes all the way through, but on this side we need our little spacer. That goes there, in between. Not sure why they did it like that, but they did. Let's see if I can do this while I'm filming. Right. There was a little bit of off-camera fiddling about there, but it's through. Yeah, we've got your spacer in there, in line with your radius arm, and then it goes through to the other bush. You then want this bracey thing. Big hole goes there. Stop right there, retard. No, it doesn't. Where have I put it? I've only just had it in my hand, according to the... Oh, it's there, look, still. Big hole, no. Small hole, yes. Big hole is for down here. So, brace, small hole, washer, nut. And then this lines up with this, with a spacer washer, which I don't have the official one, but that one will do. And then you push your big rod right the way through the lower wishbone and through your rear hub. Let's see if I can just set that up again. Like that. Can everyone see? Maybe if I zoom in and tilt, do a bit of tilting. That looks sort of alright. If I move that, shit, don't do that. Yeah, if I move that out of the way. Right, that's what we want to be looking at. There we go. Right, so let's just, whoops, get your brace thing, get that through there, get a washer on the end of it. What size washer did I use on the other side? I need it to match. If it doesn't match, I'm going to be very annoyed at myself, and I don't have the right washer there at all. So I'm going to have to pause and go get one. Found the right washer. That on there. Nice big nut. I need to wipe my hands because they are super greasy. We'll just nip that up. I think it's that one. Yeah, 7/8 of an inch. That's for now. Excuse me, need my 3/4 size, no, 5/8 size back on just to nip these up. Helps if you have the spanner the right way. Keep doing that today. Right, so that's my lower shocks on, spacer, brace, correctly spaced, nut, rear hub, free to swing. So we just need to go and hook up the loosely flapping around handbrake cable now. Right, it helps at this point if you tie things up with a, a bungee, or your radius arms kind of ready with a bit of string, so that that's kind of ready to be slipped in under the car now. Not that that's going to happen for a while, because I still haven't got my drive shafts back from the powder coaters, and then I've got to fight with the universal joints again, which I'm really not looking forward to. Anyway, what were we doing? Yeah, handbrake. My handbrake cables have seen better days. The what do you call these bits? There's a word for that. Whatever they are, they're a bit past their best. But anyway, the handbrake sits. It's got this little protective bit here that you want to kind of line up where it's going to rub on the rear wishbone. Might put a little protective pad on them, because I know it's just going to rub the paint off. You then want to fight with it through this. So I'm not filming at all, am I? Too busy fighting with the other hand. I need to put a bit of WD-40 on this. No, there we go. Fight with it through there. Let's just get that out of the way a bit. I might need to get something. Now then, I don't know if I can get that to film. Yes, see that little gap there? Massive finger coming. There. Oh, I think we need to zoom out now. In this bag of bits, which has annoyingly closed itself. Oh, there we go. I have these. These aren't the ones I took off, because the ones I took off were completely destroyed in taking them off. Why won't you focus? But they're suitable. I'm having extra problems because the powder coating, even though I've removed most of it, is probably making this gap a little bit smaller than it should be. Anyway, I think that's in. I will check. Right, there. It wasn't quite in. I had to do it again, but it is now in. So that's not going anywhere now. That holds that very securely in place. We now just need to pull this arm back and pop this bit in. See if I can do this one-handed. Nope. I'll just put you in my mouth for a sec. And now, when we pull this, we should hear handbrake moving noises. Get out of my way, tools. We do. We can see the shoes moving in and out. Good. Right, it's the next day, and I've put together all the many little bits of video, and it's already coming to about 40 minutes of ramblings, which is way more than anyone should listen to me. So I'm going to call it a day here. This side's pretty much set up. I've actually disconnected the handbrakes again because I realised, which I'll cover in the next video, we need to put the disc on and the holder for the brakes, and there's a bit more lock wiring to be done on there, and it's a lot easier to do the lock wiring if it's down out of the way. So we'll cover that in the next video, along with the drive shafts, which I'll hopefully have back by the end of this week from the powder coaters, put the universal joints in, hopefully that all goes well. Then it's a case of putting the what do you call those, engine, no, not engine mounts, subframe mounts on, sliding it under the car. Did a trial slide last night. It does slide and it does fit underneath. I did get the height right, so that shouldn't be any issue. And then lift it up into the car, and then it's just a case of working on it on the car, really, filling the diff up with oil, which will cover, connecting up the handbrake, which I'll do, the sensor there, that one that goes in the back of the diff, and connecting up the brakes, and then torquing everything up once it's down on the ground. Or sorry, once the wheels have got weight on. Obviously, once it's down the ground, I won't be able to get underneath it. But yeah, a few jobs, long list of jobs to do, but we're nearly there. So yeah, I'll leave it there for this video and see you in part 3.